Hey y'all, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark, and I got to be here with Sam Stein today because we have a Zapruder film level analysis of the weirdest thing that is it possible that RFK Jr. did the weirdest thing of the entire campaign, even with the weird Trump Vance ticket? I think it has to be. We've got to watch this. It's RFK and Roseanne Barr talking about the time that RFK left a dead bear cub in Central Park and tried to frame it as a bicycle accident. I promise it'll make sense when you watch the video with us. Sam, how excited are you about this right now?
Well, I'm excited. I'm like almost petrified too, in a way, because it's so bizarre. I've watched it. I probably watched this video more than a dozen times at this juncture. I think I'm a little worried about my obsession with this, but it really does. It's a journey, and I can't get over the fact that he did this. It's the weirdest thing is he like preemptively was like, you know what, I'm going to get ahead of this story, and then he put it. He posted on Twitter with like, try spinning this. New Yorker. Like,
okay, we got to go through it. It's a second by second analysis of the RFK video. We think, just a little teaser here, we think we might learn where he got his brainworm from over the course of this video.
Okay, well, before we even start, I just want to set the scene because this is important. We're in his kitchen or someone's kitchen. We don't know whose kitchen this is.
We're in an open concept kitchen with Roseanne Barr.
It's a nice kitchen. There is a woman there, and it turns out it's Roseanne Barr. You don't know that right away. She's kind of
those of us who are big fans of Roseanne know it right away.
No, because the first shot is a side shot, and you're like, there's this woman, and she's in this like white dress. It's kind of angelic looking, but it's Roseanne. And then there's this huge slab of dinosaur ribs right in front of him that I just can't stop staring at because these are just the biggest ribs I've ever seen in my life. And he's got this massive cup of coffee in front of him too, and there's all these open containers on this table, and you're just sort of like, okay, what are we doing here, and why did they choose this setting for a video? And then things just get weirder because the first line is this:
I was taking a group of people falconing up in Goshen, New York, up in the Hudson Valley.
I was taking a group of people falconing is the first line, and then you hear a baby kind of crying off in the distance, and you're like, what is...
Couldn't you have edited this in post? Couldn't you have edited the baby crying in post? Try again. I guess they're trying to make it seem natural.
Like, get the baby out of here, okay? Just look, we're doing a video about a dead bear and falconing dinosaur ribs in front of me. Get the baby out. Like, the baby shouldn't see this. The baby should not hear this. Get the baby out. But anyways,
Sam, I think actually I have a strong opinion about the ribs that I want to address first.
Yeah, sure.
I think that he's sending a message about meat.
Yes.
He likes meat. There's a lot of discussion of meat, as we'll get into in the video.
There's at least three main meat threads in this video.
So I think the ribs are kind of like a visual representation of how much this man likes meat.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, let's continue though, because this is just like we're at the like base camp of the weirdness. We've not even started going to the summit. Here we go.
And I was supposed to meet them there at like maybe 8 or 9. I was driving up maybe, really early, like 7. And that woman in a van in front of me hit a bear and killed it.
I just want to stop right there because when he says this woman in front of me killed a bear, you got to look at Roseanne's face. She's like...
And was Roseanne not briefed about what this was going to be? And the cameras, there's a camera. It's a fancy shoot here. Does Roseanne not know what's coming? Are they just videoing his whole life? Is this like a reality? I think
Roseanne's just sort of like, okay, where are we going with this? And then he's just like, yeah, dead bear, and yeah,
a young bear.
A young bear.
So I pulled over and I picked up the bear and put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear. And it was very good condition, and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator.
Okay, that's meat. That's the second meat thing that you were talking about. So his instinct, I think this is totally fine. This has happened. Sometimes not my cup of tea. I don't eat bear meat, but like he has a dead bear. He throws it in his van, and he's like, I'm going to just skin this thing.
I'm sorry, no. This is normal. I don't know. I'm a homosexual. I'm a homosexual. I don't like the last fucking thing that I can ever think about is I'm going to take a roadkill and I'm going to put it in my car because I plan to later skin it. And then is bear meat even edible? Do people eat baby bears? People eat baby bears?
That's the thing. It's a baby. It's a baby. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not like a big bear meat guy.
I go to a lot of fancy restaurants. I go to,
No,
sometimes there'll be bear
There's
meat.
bear meat.
Really?
Like exotic restaurants. I don't know. Whatever. I guess if I had been in that situation, I probably would not have put the dead bear in my car. I probably would have tried to find someone from the park to be like, hey, there's a dead bear here. I don't think my instincts would have been to put it in my car and then skin it and eat it. But look, this is like we're just sort of like climbing the mountain of weirdness here. Let's keep going.
You can do that in New York State. You can get a bear tag for a roadkill bear. And so then we went hawking, and I had the bear in my car. And then we had a really good day, and we went late. We were catching a lot of game, and the people really loved it, so we stayed late. And instead of going back to my home in Westchester, I had to go right to the city because there was a dinner at Peter Luger's Steakhouse.
This is my favorite part. This has got to be my favorite part. Can't skip the res at Peter Luger's, man. Those res, that's a tough get. You think like for weeks in advance you get excited about Peter Luger's because that's a good steak. You just look, if you have a dead bear in your car, it doesn't matter. You're going to keep your Peter Luger's res.
The bear's been in the car all day. Yeah,
It's gotta stink. It has to stink.
It's in the car all day. He's been falconing. He does an extra long It's like been such a good day of falconing that you can't cut it early for 30 minutes.
No.
Or by the way, you can't just say, another option. I just want to throw this out there. Another option. Again, I never would have touched roadkill and put it in the car ever. But hypothetically, if I would have, and then I would have gone falconing, and it just was such a good day falconing, I couldn't stop. I think then I would have left the bear in the falconing area. I don't think I would have driven it back into the city. It was kind of like opportunity miss. I wanted to skin the bear, opportunity miss. Just one more thing to point out on this section.
Sure.
Roseanne at this point is still like, where is this story going?
The thing is, she's holding a cup of coffee. She's just sitting there. She's not said a word. She's just like
okay, we're going to Peter Luger's. Like, what? Like, can you land the plane on this story? Okay, anyway.
But think about this from Bobby's perspective. This has got to be like top 5 day of his life, right? The falconing is just awesome. Like they're just killing it on the falconing. He's got a big lot of bear meat he's going to have later in life. And he didn't even kill the bear. It just kind of fell in his lap. And on top of that, he's going to Luger's. Like this is just one of the great days of Bobby Kennedy's life right now.
Have you been to Peter Luger's?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're a big fan? You a fan of Luger's?
Look, I think the issue is it got a pretty infamous bad review recently because it's kind of like old school steak and they feel like the service has kind of fallen off, but it's good. I mean, it's just a good experience. I understand. Look, I wouldn't keep a dead bear in my car to go to Peter Luger's, but I would definitely appreciate a reservation. Okay. All right, let's keep going here.
And at the end of the dinner, it went late, and I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And the bear was in my car, and I didn't want to leave the bear in the car.
All right, this is I think the most underappreciated element of this whole video.
Okay.
We sort of gloss over it online, but basically what's happened is he's woken up really early. He's gone falconing. He didn't go home, he says. He went straight to Peter Luger's, and now he's going straight to the airport. So he has not showered, okay? He's like, he spent his whole day touching dead animals, falconing. He didn't shower before Luger's. According to his retelling the story, he just went straight to Luger's. So he's in falconing gear. He's got probably some bear blood on him. He stinks. And he's going to the airport. Where did he pack a bag?
His bag been in the car with the bear?
Where is he go? Where is he going? Did he not factor in the fact that he needs to get his luggage? Like, or is he just going to some place where he's got luggage? Like, there's so many unanswered questions here beyond just like, oh, what do I do with this dead bear? Like, he stinks. He must stink. I don't understand why he hasn't showered. I just don't get it.
I got nothing to add. That's good.
Okay,
that's a good observation.
Because that would have been bad.
Sorry, just dying. The way he says that would have been bad. Yeah, no kidding. Leaving a dead bear in your car at the airport. Yeah, that would have been bad. Yeah. That's an understatement. Here we go.
You know, at that time, this was a little bit of the redneck in me. There'd been a series of bicycle accidents in New York. They had just put in the bike lanes. And saw a couple of people had gotten killed, and it was every day, and people had gotten badly injured. Every day it was in the press. Yeah. And so I thought, I wasn't drinking, of course, but people were drinking with me.
I just think this is another underappreciated element of this. But like, yeah, there have been people who have been killed by like on their bike lanes. He's like, let's take advantage of that. Like that's like we have an opportunity here.
I still don't understand it. Like the bike, like is this an anti-bike advocacy situation or
No,
is it,
I don't think so. I think he was like, look, there's been a lot of news about people who are being hit by cars on their bikes.
also
Like
people it won't be a big deal. Yeah, it's
yeah. People will just assume,
another
a bear guy. But it's funny that you mention it because there's not really logic here. Like the bicyclists are being hit by motorists, right? Like, but he framed it as the bear being hit by a bicyclist
and dead. The bike with such force.
And the bike was the one that the bike was the one that
hit this bear with such force that the bear was immediately dead on the spot, like on the trail. Like he didn't even stagger off the trail. So it's a deadly bike hit.
I would welcome some scientists to like give us the precise measurements of how heavy the bike had to be and how fast it had to be going to kill a bear of that size. Yeah. I mean, I just don't think it would have worked scientifically. I don't think Kennedy thought this one through at Peter Luger's.
I have a couple other things with this. I like number
just
one that this is a key passage I think of the video. I like that he blames other people drinking. It's like, but I wasn't drinking, so it's like you were thinking clearly. Like,
yeah, I think, but I do think he's been in rehab, so he might be like someone who does not drink. So
yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. But so how does that alibi you exactly. that other people were drinking? It's like I'm very susceptible to peer pressure. Yeah, I'm very susceptible to peer pressure, and other people were drinking. Then the other thing is that this is this moment. So I'm not a New Yorker. I'm not into like I don't watch like Today's Show, like soft news where this was new to me, this dead bear in the park. But producer Jamie mentioned this was a very well publicized thing that happened.
The discovery of a black bear by a dog walker just a few feet from Central Park's main jogging and bike path today was alarming and strange.
So for others like me that don't remember the famous dead bear in Central Park story, it happened, and it's important to lean in on here. This happened in 2014.
Right.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is 70. So it's 2024. So this is age 60. Again, so when you're hearing the story, like it's one of those things where generally if a story starts, other people were drinking, I wasn't, but things got a little out of hand. I have plenty of stories like that from age 17 to 23.
That's like a right in college or post college story. That's not 60 years old.
Age 60. It's like people are getting a little sloshed, and we came up with the dump the dead bear in Central Park strategy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I should note, at this point, Roseanne seems to have checked in the video, and she's tilted her head to the side like this, still holding the coffee cup. But the look she gives is sort of like a, Bobby, why? Like, why are you telling me this? It's getting a little bit uncomfortable for her, and she's like, this is crazy. You've brought me on a weird journey. Let's continue here, okay?
And I said, well, I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of it.
Okay, again, another line that's sort of underappreciated. I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of. First of all, how big is your car? You have an old bike in there and a dead bear in there. Like,
and presumably luggage.
Luggage. Apparently, let's hope he has luggage. But there's a lot going on in the car. But secondarily, I've never encountered someone who's like, yeah, my friend had me get rid of their bike. Like, what does that mean? There's some weird undertones to that where it's just like, why is your friend having you dispose of their bike?
Why didn't your friend just dispose of the bike? You live in New York. Could you put the bike in front of the apartment? Just put a little sign on it, free bike.
Free bike. Or like call the, trash pickup people or anything. But like, hey, Bobby, can you get rid of this bike for me? Like, there's some weird stuff happening here. So
it feels like a lie. I just want to say this feels like a lie. It's a very long story to try to alibi himself, and this feels like he's decided that he needs to come up with a reason why he would have wanted to give away the bike. He doesn't want to just admit that he's a rich person that can just dispose of bikes, and because it doesn't matter because he's just a nepo baby with unlimited resources. So I think that to me this feels like
the bike element's a lie. Yeah,
I feel
that
like
would make sense. There was definitely a bike, like in 2014 when they were reporting it. The bear had a bike.
I mean, I think my friend gave me an old bike.
My friend gave me an old bike.
I'm calling that out as a lie. That's just one man's opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the story's so weird that, like, yes, we have to get to the truth about the bike component. All right, let's keep going.
I said, let's go put the bear in Central Park and we'll make it look like he got hit by a bike. It'll be funny for people. So everybody thought that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
It'll be
Way
fun
to go,
for people.
Bobby.
It'll be fun for people. The bike and the bear. It'll just be a fun little thing.
But doesn't he have to get to the airport?
Classic gamer.
He's got to get to the airport, but no, we're going to divert a little bit and get into.
Is Peter Luger near Central Park? I've never been. I'm not familiar with Peter Luger.
No, it's not. Like, they had to go back into Manhattan a bit and, like, get to Central Park. And you can't just, like, drive into Central Park and pull over, right? They got, like, somehow they parked somewhere, took a bear out, found a place to put it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Grabbed a bike, and Bobby's probably like, "Look, my flight.
How many people are involved?
I got my flight, like, I gotta catch it." Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of clearly this is a time-consuming plan, but apparently he caught his flight.
So we went and did that, and we thought it would be amusing for whoever found it or something. The next day, it was like. It was on every television station. It was the front page of every paper. And I turned on the TV and there was like a mile of yellow tape and there were 20 cop cars.
You want to say something? Because I have a thought here.
No, it's just like, was big news that you dumped a dead bear in Central Park. Doesn't happen every day.
No, it doesn't. And the irony, as people have pointed out, is that the person who was reporting this for the New York Times at the time in 2014 was John F. Kennedy's granddaughter. And so she was writing for the Times. So it was like weird.
Bobby's cousin.
Family.
Bobby's cousin is writing this story like, who the hell dumped the dead baby in the Central Park? It's like a huge mystery. What kind of moron would do this? And it's like, oh, wait, it's my cousin.
You think Bobby had a moment where he's like, maybe I should give her the scoop and help her career.
Well, he does. Well, no, he does have one moment of self-reflections coming up here. Actually, we'll take a listen.
There were helicopters flying over it, and I was like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And then there was some people on TV in Tyvek suits with gloves on, lifting up the bike, and they're saying they're going to take this up to Albany to get a fingerprinted. And I was worried because my prints were all over that bike. Luckily, the story died down after a while, and it stayed dead for a decade. And
it stayed dead for a decade. What are your thoughts?
Well, for starters, when you're telling a story, that the whole purpose of it is to alibi yourself before the New Yorker comes out, and you decide to tape a video, and you include Roseanne in the video for some reason, and you're telling your version of the story, and you get to the end, and Roseanne, of all people, Roseanne says, "Uh-oh."
It's going to be a bad story.
Uh-oh.
Roseanne is like, bro, and then you decide to put the video out. Like, I would have maybe edited it. Taking the sign that's maybe where you edit. If Roseanne says, "Uh-oh," yeah, he's worried about the fingerprints. It doesn't seem like he doesn't turn himself in, though. Again, another unspoken thing here is that, like, you would think that in that moment, it's on the news, they're taking it up to Albany to fingerprint it. You're a Kennedy. You might want to call the mayor's office and just say, "Hey, can we have an off the record with that of NYPD? Like, I've solved a cold case here. I'm happy to submit my prints." I don't know. Again, if you're like, that just feels like the thing to do if you care about the law. I guess the Kennedys in these sort of situations sometimes.
There's been some history of the Kennedys leaving scenes of crashes. So,
and not turning themselves in after. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know, man. That's it's the thing that you keep coming back to is that the original. Do you have the original tweet where he sends the video where he's like, "Try to spin this, New Yorker. Spin
the original
this."
Tweet is, "Looking forward to seeing how you spin this one at New York." And it's like, what? The irony here, the great irony here is that the New Yorker article did come out today, and it's 2 paragraphs of a massive piece is all it is in the article about the bear incident, and it's completely buried at the end. And so what he's done is he's elevated this completely buried anecdote in the piece and made it into its own story that we can all laugh at.
The New Yorker added one new element that we learned since the video, the photo. There's a photo, which you can put on screen here, of Bobby putting his finger in the mouth of the dead bear with blood coming out of it. Who knows? Seems like he made a lot of questionable choices with dead animals, but if you're trying to figure out the origin story of the brainworm, I think you could do worse than saying that this photo, where his zipper is unzipped, by the way, unclear if that raises any questions about what else he was doing with the bear. Unzipped zipper, finger in the mouth, blood. Seems unsanitary. Seems like not something you'd want to go straight to the airport, straight to Peter Luger's.
I want to know if he made his flight. Honestly, I need to know if he made his flight, but maybe not. All right, I think we can leave it there. This was fun.
This was so good, Sam Stein. This is, I think, one of the more interesting Tim takes that we've done. The Tim and Sam takes. Make sure you subscribe to the feed. This is the kind of material that you're getting here on the Bulwark YouTube page. Subscribe. Tell your friends, and we'll be seeing you soon. Hey, if you like this video and our content, I'd love for you to become a Bulwark Plus subscriber. You get access to bonus podcasts, secret podcasts, and newsletters we put out every day, plus some behind-the-scenes takes that I don't always post on this feed. In addition, you can become part of the Bulwark community. Come over to our Substack and comment and meet other like-minded people. We'd love to have you. Starting today, you can get a free trial at thebulwark.com/free trial. The link is right here on the screen and below in the description. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Come on and give it a free try today.